thank you very much. And as our first preliminary, I have to point out to you the fire assembly point. So we are here, and that is our fire assembly. So Alex can put it off. Today I have the great pleasure of offering a brief introduction to the performance that we are about to see. In a few minutes' time, students and other members of the Oxford community will perform in Sanskrit Bhavabhūti's great masterpiece, the Mālatīmādhava. As this is the third time the Sanskrit play is being staged in Oxford, we are confident and delighted that a new tradition has now become firmly established and will last for many years to come. Before the play begins, I would like, by way of introduction, to say a few words about the context of dramatic performance in India, the author of our play, and of course the play itself. Sanskrit drama, or Rupakam, has long held an important place in Indian culture. Plays were regularly performed in temples as part of festivals, in royal courts for the entertainment of kings, queens, and courtiers, and the plot often derived from the well-known stories of the epics. As in the case of the Mālatīmādhava, they can also be of the poet's own inspiration. The language of these dramas was predominantly Sanskrit, with characters of certain styles spoken in many Middle Indic languages, collectively known as Prakrit. The art performance, however, of Prakrit will be in Sanskrit for this standard. The actors in ancient times spoke in both prose and verse, and the verses were usually sung in complex meters. But even the prose could be quite triple, so in order to fully enjoy such work, an audience member needed to be well-educated, attentive, and accessible, a person capable of appreciating fine literature within the constraints of a learned tradition. The actors not only spoke their lines with emotion in their voice, but also put great care into their facial expressions and the gestures of their hands, which were augmented by makeup, jewelry, and elaborate props. This is ideally what is sort of erotic loving is. He is a great performer from the Kerala tradition, so you might see it with our in time, many of these visual aspects of the performance became highly stylized and were taught in dramaturgical works such as the Natya Shastra and the Bhavabhūti, and these are the typical use it out in your hand, gestures, other styles. So the play itself, as I alluded to above, was usually part of a larger religious festival and was preceded by elaborate opening ceremonies with dance, music, and veneration of the church's deity. The Mālatīmādhava, for example, was performed at a festival in honor of Mālatīmādhava in Solid. We hope to recreate part of this atmosphere here today, although on a much smaller scale. But Sanskrit drama, like all literature, serve purposes greater than mere entertainment. According to traditional accounts of the creation of the first play, Indra, the lord of the gods, requested from the Vedas to create a new means of imparting the essence of the Vedas to humans of a new and evolved age. This novel medium would be both shravya, audible, and drishya, visible, as well as educative in the pursuits of man, the so-called purushartha, acquiring wealth, proper behavior, fulfilling one's desires, teaching the scriptures, the arts, and much more. By imparting these mores and proper conduct in such a delightful form, it was hoped that humanity would stay on track and check its slide into decadence and mayhem. Though Sanskrit literature no doubt helped to maintain certain view, in practice it also provided a venue to explore the complexity of human emotion. And it is in this context that I wish to introduce the author of her play, Bhavabhūti, who is often described as a poet with great emotional depth, penetrating insight into the human condition, and it has a manner of expression that stretches the limits of the Sanskrit language itself as he tries to recreate in words what he felt in his heart. We are fortunate to know several details about Bhavabhūti's life, a state of affairs that is relatively rare for Sanskrit authors. He lived during the 7th and 8th centuries and was born in a city called Padmapura in Vidarbha, modern-day Gujarat, possibly near the Godavari River. His family was one of learned Brahmins belonging to the Taittiriya Yajurveda and Kashyapa Gotra. His parents were Nilakanta and Jatukarni. His guru was Jnananidhi. During his later years, he worked at the court of King Yashovarman in Kanyakubja or Kannauj, and after 730, possibly under Lalita Vidya as well. It is, however, from his literary activities that we acquire a sharper image of Bhavabhūti's character, interests, and inner working. 3 dramas have come down to us under his name. In chronological order, they are the Mahavira Charita, the life of the great hero Rama, the Mālatīmādhava, the present drama, and the Uttararama Charita, Rama's last act. It seems that his first play was quite a flop. The Mahavira Charita is a sort of behind-the-scenes look at the Ramayana, where the motivations for the epic's main and exciting events are discussed in philosophical detail, rather ill-suited for the stage, and interspersed with swoons and sudden revitalizations when rebuttal was needed. To say the least, this is not what we chose to put on. The second play, the Mālatīmādhava, and I will discuss it a bit more momentarily, it represents one of the finest Sanskrit genres. The romantic story is charming, filled with humor, plot twists, subtle philosophical references, and a complexity that keeps the reader or viewer coming back through the list of characters and drawing parallels between the layers of the story. It is no doubt the most performable of Bhavabhūti's works. In his last play, however, Rama's last act, Bhavabhūti takes up one of the most difficult episodes in Sanskrit literature. That is, Rama's abandonment of Sita while she is pregnant with his twin sons Kusha and Lava. Although the drama contains far less action than Mālatīmādhava, its verses are of an unparalleled beauty and plunge the depths of love and loss. To provide but 1 or 2 examples, Rama says to Sita before their separation, "Every single time you touch me, a kind of transformation. It can't be described as joy or sorrow, ecstasy or sleep, a state of intoxication or all-suffusing poison. It confuses my senses and at once excites and dulls my awareness. The impact of love cannot be pinned down. It swims in contradictions and eludes any clear description. The tenderness that Bhavabhūti must have felt comes through as well. For, to give one example again, as Rama recalls with astonishment how Sita enjoyed the time in exile, despite all the hardships of the forest, she was still delighted simply because she could be with him. And we listen to him say, "The person need do nothing at all. The mere joy of being together dispels sorrow. What gift it is to have someone who loves you." Rama's despair is equally on display. In a verse repeated from the Mālatīmādhava, and one that Bhavabhūti must have felt conveyed the true feelings of loss, Rama bemoans, "How truly awful! My heart breaks and shears in agony, but doesn't split apart. My crippled body is delirious, but doesn't lose consciousness. An inner fire inflames my limbs, but doesn't reduce them to ash. Fate strikes me to the quick, but doesn't end my life." But this fierce emotion of the Uttararama Charita is diluted in the Mālatīmādhava. Through the levity of the story, laugh-out-loud scenes, and sojourns into the cremation ground. The story is somewhat complex and is in fact 3 love stories at once. So I will provide a very brief overview, and then we will get on to the great stuff. So the main romance is between Mālatīmādhava and Madhava. Madhava has come to our city of Padmavati to study, and there he falls in love with Mālatī. Both are the offspring of ministers, Devarata and Bhurivatsu, so that's Madhava. Althea is Mālatī. These 2 ministers studied together at university and promised that they would love their children to one another when the time was right. Witness to this was a Buddhist nun, Kamandaki, and she helps to bring together the 2 children. And this would be all well and good, but another minister, Nandana, has eyes for Mālatī and convinces the king of Padmavati to have her betrothed to himself. As if this weren't bad enough, Mālatī is abducted by a group of Shaiva adepts for human sacrifice. Madhava, distraught in selling human flesh, must rescue her, but in the process kills the priest Aghoraganta. To avenge the death of her guru, Aghoraganta's pupil Kapala Kundala abducts Mālatī again, so that she too this time she is rescued by a friendly Shaiva ascetic, Salmandani, and former friend of the ministers. After the second rescue, all is well, and the happy couple can live in undisturbed thereafter. Alongside the main romance, however, so there's Kapala who relies on sort of blowing everything up. Alongside the main romance, Madhava's bosom buddy Makaranda is in love with Mālatī's friend Mālatīmādhava, who is the sister of the minister Nandana from before. Also, all the names sort of start with them. The servants, too, have their own love intrigues. So Kalahamsaka, who is the servant of Madhava, is in love with Mālatīka, who is one of his own servants, who is in line with Kalandisi. And so the love servants have their love intrigues as well. So Kalahamsaka, Madhava's servant is sweet, and Mālatīka is servant to the Buddhist nuns. Each pair is then brought together through various stratagems relating to the main characters. Kalahamsaka and Mālatīka then trade sidelong glances as they pass paintings of Mālatīmādhava and Madhava between the two households. Makaranda and Damayantikas, they seal their affections after a tiger attack in which the two main heroes save the day. If the big works for the rare, their battle wounds draw the sympathy and admiration of their sweethearts. Makaranda will also play a key role in helping keep Nandana, the minister that's keen on Mālatīmādhava, he'll play a key role in keeping Nandana away from Mālatīmādhava by disguising himself as the blushing bride herself. So this will be the in the end, all wed in the happily ever after, and we will celebrate this in our own play with a dance. So this brief sketch, I hope, will help to keep the main characters clear in your mind as the actors take you through the twists and turns of the drama and overcome obstacles divine and animal to unite in love. Lastly, I must express my sincere thanks and great admiration for all of the actors in the play, who took the time out of their busy schedules to memorize lines, rehearse evenings and weekends. Special thanks is also owed to Althea, who took on the crucial role of director. So thank you all very much for coming, and thank you all very much for your efforts in putting this together.